Welcome to the African Grassroots Show. I'm your host, Ronnie, and our guest today on the show is Chairman Chokoe from Simon Stars Football Club. Coach, how are you? And welcome to the show.
Good afternoon to you, sir, and the viewers of Ron Media.
As both a football coach and a law enforcement officer, how did the gender-based violence impact you on a personal level?
You know, really, these current challenges we are facing globally is a nightmare to everyone. Gender-based violence is a pandemic as it was declared by head of state previously. And we say as Simon Stars and as Mr. Chokoe as a law enforcement officer to say we need to work together as a community to ensure that we bring to the end this gender-based violence. Like what former President Nelson Mandela said, we can make this world to be a better place to be. It's in our hands to make this a country a better place to live in.
And a few days later, a few days after the match, your team suffered a devastating loss of one of your players. How did the news affect you, your players, and the family?
You know, each and every child who joins Simon Stars, who attempt to join Simon Stars, it becomes a responsibility. Losing one of the children or the child in the community, I feel sad and I take blame for that, because I always believe that I'm part of the solution to bring change within the communities. And I always say, if I was to do more or much, I was going to save life of that child. But I will say we need to continue working together as a communities to change life of youth within the communities. Like if you look at the vision of Simon Stars, to say we need to remove all children away from the street. Then we need to make sure that we keep them to the ground so that they not be exposed to crime, not to be exposed to substance abuse. But you can do so much, anything can happen in life.
And then how are you and the club doing to support the players' family?
You know, I always say we are all grassroots, we are all amateur clubs. We depending on what we can, what I can do myself. We don't have more funding, we don't have funds to say yes, we can do so much to make sure that everyone is now supported. But we are trying as little as we can. If you look at all the players that are registered on our clubs, on our MySafa system, there's insurance for each of player that normally, if once you are registered, we can now claim for you to get something. Unfortunately, some of the players, remember they attempt to join, but they don't sign, they don't register to become official registered players of the club. But like I said, each and every child who come close to Simon Stars belongs to us, because we open the doors for everyone to come and join our club, to come and join our organization, because our target was, if we can have plus minus 1,000 kids that are registered in Simon Stars, that will be something that when I sleep, I will sleep peacefully, knowing that at least I changed lives of 1,000 kids in the community. But like I said, we always want to see how much we can help. But unfortunately, due to lack of funding, we just work from the pocket and see how we can assist. But unfortunately, when that incident happened, the player was not yet in our books. He was just attempting. We were planning to have the players registered this season and play on the league. But like I said, gender-based violence really is something that we need to work together as a community. We need to work together as a country to ensure that everyone will take the responsibility. Every man in the street will take the responsibility to make sure that we protect a girl child, we protect a boy child, we protect women, we protect disabled person in the community. And if we so doing, I think in future we won't be facing the same challenges we face now.
And then, while still on that, how does gender-based violence affect women's football at a grassroots level?
I decided to say, you'll never know what is happening in my house up until you get my child. That's when you'll get the information on what is happening inside my house. Then I decided to say, as a law enforcement officer, if I want to know what is happening in this community, I must get the children, all of them, to the ground, so that I can prepare them for future. That's when we get to know how bad kids are affected by gender-based violence. That's where I get information on the kids, how are they suffering in their families. Because for me, what pushed me to end up having a Simon Stars Football Club is not just come as a surprise. I just decided to say I formed the club. I was once affected by this GBV. I was exposed to this GBV, and growing up, I always say I want to protect fellow children in the communities, so that those who are in the same situation that I was they must learn to know that it's not the end of the world. Anything is possible. They can change their life for better. Yes.
Then, as a coach, how do you balance grief and keeping the team going on?
That question always asked by my wife to say, Chokoe, plus minus 1,000, if not 2,000 calls you receive a day around your work environment, around your work area of your work, around communities surrounding, and even far from Natal and so people they are calling to say, we just want your advice. And how do you cope on advising everyone? How do you now come with the solution of your challenges that you face as a person? And I was, because he asked me, you always have an answer to every person who asks you for advice. Where do you get those answers, and when are you answering your own challenges that you face as a person? And I told her, you know what, every time when I sit alone, I also ask God, how did you make it possible for me to have answers for everyone? Then I always say, every time when I get time, a minute or two, I kneel down and I pray to say, God, as you put me in this situation, you are the one that can make sure that in this where I am, I will have solution for everything. Or all answers for all the questions that are asked to me.
I wish if I was like you. And Coach, Chairman, do you think enough is being done to combat gender-based violence in South Africa?
People that say government, I say I'm the government. I'm the solution for the challenge that I face. What I will say is I'm pleading to everyone in the communities to join hands together. All stakeholders, men, women, children in the communities, to work together so that we can fight this pandemic within the communities. If one raise a hand and say, it's my responsibility to protect a girl child, it's my responsibility to protect a boy child, it's a responsibility to protect women in the street, it's a responsibility to protect the men, because it's not only children that are abused, it's not only women that are abused, the men that are abused, the men are dying quietly. That's what now affect this our children in the communities. But I'm saying, I will never say we never done enough. We are doing something, but we need to do more as a community. We need to do more. We need to work together. We need to involve everyone.